sometimes you must pick the big one. Sometimes some don't work.
I mean,
Try
it was a
this
few
one.
days
Try
ago.
this one.
More flowers this way. We're having a really wonderful day, and this is a permaculture garden. We do a little bit and then Gaia does the rest. Pretty much everything else has just come here. Yeah, so I want to share about the plants that are growing here and the flowers that are coming out for the spring, the first flowers that come out in the year. So here's one of them. This is chickweed. Its botanical name is Stellaria media. So Stellaria is having to do with the stars, and it's a very small plant. It likes to creep along the ground. It grows in rich soils, and it also grows in disturbed soils, so it's very friendly with humans. It grows abundantly. It grows throughout the year and not so much in the winter, so that's why it's very exciting to see it growing so abundantly and happily now in the spring. You can eat it. Has a lot of minerals in it, and it's called chickweed because chickens like to eat it. So if you are so lucky to have chickens, this is an excellent thing for them to eat. Chickweed contains saponins, which are also found in soap. It's a dissolver, so it dissolves fats. It's also a known remedy for the skin, all kinds of skin conditions. It can just be something really lovely to put on your skin to nourish your skin. It can also help with rashes, burns, and cuts. It's very soothing. It contains mucilage, so it's got this juiciness to it that is really nice for the skin. And it also is good for your eyesight. In addition to so many things, this is a plant that lives with humans. It's a very common medicinal plant that people have been using for who knows how long. Very long time. You can mash it up, and you mash it until you get some juice coming out and then put it on your eyes, and that's very healing for the eyes. And you can also do the same thing and put it on your skin if you have a rash. That's a great thing to do. Or you can make an oil with it, and that's a nice way to preserve the properties of this plant, so you can use it anytime you want to. If you were going to make an oil, you could do it two ways. You could just pick a whole bunch of it, chop it up, and put it in a metal bowl on top of boiling water and let it heat that way. Get nice and hot. You just don't want the oil to fry the chickweed unless you're going to eat it. That could be nice. But no, put it on a double boiler and let it heat and stew for an hour. This is one way you can do it. You can do it for an hour in there and then remove it and then add more chickweed and heat that again for an hour, and you'll have a nice green oil that you can save and keep. You could add some beeswax to that and make a salve that's gonna stay good for a really long time, at least a year. You can also just take a jar and fill it up with chickweed, chop that really finely, really fill your jar, and then fill that with an oil of your choice. Olive oil works well. but you could use any oil that you are willing to put on your skin. Let that sit for about 6 weeks. Fill it all the way up to the top with oil, and make sure that the chickweed isn't wet when you are adding it to the oil, because oil and water makes mold. You don't want that. There is water inside of the chickweed, so if you do have a little bit of mold that's on top of your oil, part of the reason why you fill it up to the top with oil is so that there's not space for the mold to grow. But if mold does come on top, you can just take it off of the top. Your oil is still fine. You would know. If it goes rancid, it would not smell nice, but chickweed has a nice, fresh, green scent. It's great to eat wild foods to get those soil microbes and to remind us that we are wild, to get in touch with that part of ourselves, and also to feel the abundance of the earth, that there's so much that's growing here and it wants to share its nourishment with us. Gorjanska TV